Hello everyone and welcome back to my A through Z playthrough for Heroes of the Storm. Another odd starting place, but the AI has been a little frustrating as of late in terms of what map, what composition and such, and just the AI teammates just acting outright stupid. So I'm hoping this is going to be the one that makes it where I can be able to have a decent game for you guys. Alright, so we're on Towers of Doom, and today we're going to be taking a look at the former king of the Alliance, Varian, who valiantly fell against the Burning Legion and Gul'dan at the Broken Shore, but now has brought his incredible synergy of the Red Lion armor suit and the Red Lion mount to the Nexus. Alright, so let's see here.
3, 2, 1.
Rexar's their own war. You know what? Maybe I won't go taunt tank variant here. Maybe I'll show you a DPS build. Do I want to go Twin Blades or Smash, though? Alright, High King's Quest. You know what? For old time's sake, because I never get to run it anymore, for old time's sake, we're gonna go Twin Blades. Hopefully this will get done in time so I can be able to make my damage even stronger. Alright, so Varian has received a lot of change. He was announced 2 years ago at BlizzCon 2016. I know, because I was there. I was there in the crowd when they announced it, and they showed the cinematic where he took on Ragnaros all by himself, because they also wanted to announce that Ragnaros was coming to the game, which had many of us just going insane, like, what? Rag is coming to the game? That's incredible. And when he was there at BlizzCon, I tried him out, and you know, he was different back then, and the build that was without question the most fun, at least for me to play when he was there at BlizzCon and when he first came out, was, oh, of course the hammer gets me, was the Twin Blades build. But also keep in mind there were some things that were different about some of his talents. For one thing, the Warbringer talent here at 10, which by the way, it used to be 4. They used to have these at 10, and then they realized that before level 10, Varian was not very effective for his team. So they realized they had to put these at 4 to make it a little easier for people to pick them up so he can be able to help play his defined role for his team. Now let's... I love the animation. Just like in the cinematics. You'd always go like, yes, it's time for me to fight. Heal me, Lucio, heal me. You shouldn't be angry. Yeah. There we go.
Excellently done.
Ooh, thank you, Lucio. So, as I said, Warbringer used to have a stun attached to it. And so, being able to combine the movement speed you get with a stun, it was so good back then. When he first came out, like, the Twin Blades variant was, like, unstoppable back in the day. And then they kind of reeled it in, but they also made some changes to try and make the other versions more appealing, like being able to add some more or add some baseline armor and change the max health you got when you picked the taunt variant. As far as I know, I don't think they've ever really changed the Colossus Smash variant that much, as far as I can tell. Like, there's nothing about it that makes me go, oh, that's been changed. Because Twin Blades and also definitely Taunt has received a lot of change over time. Oh man, I might be... Oh, never mind. Nope, nope. Maybe I'm not dead here yet. Hold on. Oh, get the leaping. Ah, man.
Find its way back soon.
so now here's where things get fun. Second Wind. So, because this now gives him healing on his auto attacks, and we attack even faster, this helps make Varian one of the strongest junglers in the game. And, you know, this is something you'll see often in Quick Match. It's not really seen in Hero League that much because, well, people don't really see Twin Blades as a very strong competitive pick these days. They definitely see the Taunt or Colossus Smash Varian, but, you know, but not so much the Twin Blades one. It's still fun, but it's just not very well liked or appeal. You know, it doesn't come across that appealing to top line play anymore, compared to the Taunt, where you get that silence as well as the big burst damage plus reduction of armor that Colossus Smash provides. So, of course, with the extra movement speed, it's very hard for people to get away from Twin Blades Varian. He can just chase you down like crazy. Of course, with the fact that he has 2 slows in his kit, it just makes it where it is ridiculously hard to try and get away from a Twin Blades Varian. Especially once he gets the, you know... Alright, so we have finished. We just need to collect globes now. And this right here now is where it's like, okay, now to get camp so I can get the globes that they give up. But for a long time, when they also... Alright, so we're going to take Warbringer, so which reduces the mana cost and reduces the cooldown dramatically. But there was also a period of time where then Twin Blades kind of got de-shelved and Taunt became the dominant pick for Varian. And so people would take Warbringer, which had the stun still. So you combine that stun that this would provide along with the Taunt, which had that silence, and all of a sudden you then had this, I think it was a 2 or 3 second duration where you were either both stunned and then silenced. So then characters such as Tracer were like unplayable because of course he had parry, which blocks all basic attacks, which made Tracer like useless as an auto attacker. And then you had, you know, being able to both stun and silence a Tracer where she couldn't use any of her abilities to get away and survive. At that point, she was just dead. Like, there was nothing that a Tracer could do back then when a Varian was on the other side, because he would just make Tracer just, like, have a horrendous time because she couldn't survive. She would just be dead. Like, there was nothing that a Tracer could do back then. It was so strong and so dominant. Varian dominated the scene and made Tracer just a no-show back then. So Blizzard realized that this combination was a bit too strong, so they changed Warbringer where it no longer had a stun. Instead, it had a extra slow. But then, you know, this was not seen as very appealing. So now we have the current Warbringer where it reduces the cooldown to 4 seconds and reduces the mana cost. And it can be cast on allied heroes. But really no one ever picks it. They still pick Shield Wall because, of course, it gives him the protection status. Now, they tried to balance this out by making it where you didn't have a second charge when you did pick Shield Wall. But people do still pick it because they realize, yeah, the cooldown's reduced, and yeah, it does still provide an issue when it comes to, yeah, see, so I'm able to do that here. And you can see, I'm still able to do well here in taking that because I have the healing on my auto attacks, and I can parry those structures. Alright, so, take Mortal Strike, which reduces the healing every time we are able to... Alright, let me go over here and grab this globe. I just need one more globe. And there we go. So now this is going to make my auto attacks even stronger than they already are. So what this does, you can see here, the reward is that you get an extra 45 base attack damage. which kind of helps nullify the part of this where it says your basic attack damage is reduced by 20%. But you then kind of raise it back up when you're able to finish this quest. And of course now, with the Twin Blades variant, this is kind of what you'll often see Twin Blades variants doing, is going from camp to camp because they're so good at it now. Whereas if I was playing as a taunt tank variant, I would be up with my team helping in fights, but they're doing fine. Besides, on this map, it's pretty okay to go ahead and grab those while your team is also grabbing these. Alright, so now let's focus on the mid lane. Oh, nice job, Kel'Thuzad. Clear that gate. The hammer couldn't get away. See, that's what I'm talking about. It's like, no one can get away from the Twin Blades Varian. He's just so good at that. Alright, level 16, the banners. Now, these used to be swapped. These talents used to be 16, the banners used to be 13. But they realized getting the reduction of healing or the extra damage against shields was far more beneficial than the banners. So Blizzard swapped those. So basically they've done a lot of swapping, realizing what's more useful for Varian earlier in the game than the others. And so that's why Varian is one of those characters that has received so much of those different kinds of changes. Because they realize, okay, characters are valuing, or players are valuing this more than others. So we need to make it where you can get those early in the game, because otherwise he's not very useful or helpful to his team earlier in the game without some of those other critical talents. So Varian is in a pretty good spot in that when you pick him, he can be able to fill any of those roles very decently. He does, you know, him not having that 15 armor does hurt, but they made up for it by, because there was a patch where they removed the baseline armor from the game, and he had 15 armor on the taunt, along with the 30% extra max health. But when they removed armor, they decided to compensate by giving him extra health regeneration. And of course, he can still pick up his protection shield wall. He can still be able to have, of course, that silence when he picks up taunt. He doesn't have, of course, that full 2 to 3 second shutdown like he used to, but he's still able to do a very decent, strong job when it comes to tanking for his team. Obviously, I didn't do that. I showed you the Twin Blades DPS build, High King's Quest, Twin Blades of Fury, Second Wind, Warbringer, Mortal Strike, Banner of Ironforge. This is something you'll probably never see in Hero League, as most of the time when Varian is picked, he's picked either for Colossus Smash or to be the tank for his team. Even though right now in the meta, I'd say right now the more dominant tanks that are picked these days are Muradin as well as Garrosh. But Varian is still a very solid choice. Up next, we will be taking a look at the newest hero to be added into the game, Inquisitor Whitemane. Obviously, I'm recording this on the day she came out, so that's why she's at level 2. She just came out, so I can't talk about the history of the character. We'll just kind of, play a game and show you guys how she works. If you haven't seen my showcase vid where I did a first impressions look at her. So, I will see you guys then.